Guys, what's up? Welcome back to another video. You join me as I am attempting to try and produce a makeshift funnel to try and put my intro workout together because I don't own a funnel and that's gonna have to do. This has literally been in the works for the past 3 sessions and I must say it's worked, but it's just not getting any better. So I'm gonna be making my intro here. It's something that I feel as if I used to bring to the channel all the time. You guys used to see my supplements all the time, and then I just feel as if I've transitioned to just training sessions. So I'm going to try my best and transition back to more stuff that kind of happens in my life that's not just going to the gym. So we're going to start off with some supplements because of course I take quite a lot of supplements on a daily basis. We're starting off with intro workout here. Did I mention that today is also push day and we are heading to Oxygen Gym, which is the brand new Oxygen Gym that has just opened here in Dubai earlier this year. I believe this gym costs like 30 million to open, which is pretty fucking crazy because $30 million into a gym is something that I've not really ever heard of before. But first things first, Carb Up, which as you guys know is my intro carbohydrate. We've got Hydro EAA, which is my essential amino acid. These supplements, guys, you know, I don't take any other supplements from any other brands apart from HR Labs. Do you know, this is not gonna work. I'm gonna have to be super careful with this because if I'm not, this is going everywhere. And if anybody takes Hydro EAA, they'll know how bad it can be and how much of a mess you can make if you're not super careful. And if I'm not super careful here, the thing is I'm gonna have to clean this up. Ooh, it's went in, but it's stuck at the top. So we're gonna have to give it a little tap. There we go. I don't even know if you guys can see that, but that's very satisfying actually. I have taken HR Lab supplements for so many years now. I'm thinking 7+ years. I've not taken anything else apart from supplements from Unrivaled Nutrition and supplements from Strom Nutrition. Now, Strom has actually been, as of quite late in my second last prep to this one, I started taking Support Max Joint. I then took ZMAs and I then took Ashwagandha. So I progressively started taking a little bit more from Strom, and to be honest, it's only because the ingredient dense supplements and the research done behind their supplements are absolutely incredible. So to be honest, like I say, I'm gonna favour supplements that I know work and I know have worked for a lot of people, and I know that are not just in it for money, and I know that are not just in it for fancy labels and tubs just to be able to, you know, take 30 quid off you, because there's a lot of companies out there nowadays that are like that. And I can assure you that Strom, HR Labs and Unrivaled Nutrition for a fact are not like that. And to be honest, that's why I've taken them for so long. And of course the main thing is they work. They've worked for me. I've progressed so fucking much by using them, and they've aided my recovery by an extreme amount. So again, that's why I really favour the supplements that I take. So to be honest, like I say, there's definitely a few more outside of this that I'm taking right now. But with that being said, in terms of the supplements that I have right now out in front of you, which I've just put Train Smart V2 in for my pre-workout, so this is a non-stim based pre-workout today. I have got my travel sized tub of AGF. You guys know I take upwards of 2 scoops of AGF every single day, sometimes 2.5 depending if I'm feeling a scoop and a half either in the morning or at night. Basic, you guys know I swear by this. This is something that I've taken, I think I've taken this the longest, I would say. Either this or DFib, which as you guys know is HR Labs' highly stem based pre-workout, which is an insane pre-workout. Basic is the saturation formula. This has also got 5,000 milligrams creatine monohydrate in it. I also supplement 5 grams extra creatine from HR Labs on top of that one as well, which is in this little dodgy tub here with the spoon, because I've actually forgot the scoop for creatine, so I literally need to measure that out for 5 grams. So that's the supplements that I've got out here right now. I also have a tub of pills that include vitamin D3 from HR Labs, Strom's Joint Support, Strom's Multimax, Brain Food from HR Labs, and Formidable, which is my natural testosterone booster from Unrivaled Nutrition. So supplements are made. We're going to be heading to Oxygen within the next 30 minutes. I've got push on the card. It's going to be shoulder focused push, and to be honest, any shoulder session as of recently, I've only trained the shoulders. I've actually not done any chest. I've done a bit of arms after it, but I'm going to be in a gym that costs 30 million to build and put hundreds of bits of equipment in it. So why on earth am I not going to just include a little bit of extra chest today? For that reason, I'm going to have fun. I'm going to take you guys through it. We'll go and see exactly what it's like. This will be another edition of training on the road. This has got to be. So we'll see if it's good or if it's shit. I might get there and I might absolutely not like it and I might leave. Hopefully it's not super expensive, because I do believe prices have actually went up, and Banus, for a fact, is up to 299 dirhams, which, if I am right, is about 60 quid for 1 day pass. Now guys, I fucking love the gym, but 60 quid for a day pass, oh, just not a bit of me. We're also repping the good old Destination top, especially from Dallas. That's a gym that I definitely miss. Just for that good old atmosphere, environment, the hardcore feeling. Yeah, I'm definitely gonna have to get back to Destination at some point. Guys, so I've just got in. First impressions, this place is fucking ginormous. So it was 157.50 AED, so 157.50 dirhams for a day pass, which is actually quite reasonable considering, like what I told you guys, Banus is now 299. This place, I'm not entirely sure if it's bigger than Banus, because Banus has like 5 different rooms. However, I believe it's going to be at least on par, if not maybe even a touch bigger. Of course, it's totally different. The vibe's totally different. There's a whole outdoor area with a big swimming pool. You can go out, you can chill. Also, I did forget to mention this place is male only as well, so no females allowed on any day. So that is another rule they have here. But 157.50 is the equivalent to around £32 for a day pass, which, don't get me wrong, in the UK would be like extortionate. You just would not, I don't even think that's London prices for a gym, not that I've been to anyway. But for out here, I would say that's actually pretty reasonable for what I know this place has got already. So we'll head into the gym now, we'll see exactly what they've got. Yeah guys, I anticipated this place to be fucking huge, and that is exactly what it is. It's literally just rammed full of equipment. Walking down into, I mean, I can only assume it's the leg area because there's about 10 leg extensions back to back. Leg press, leg press, leg press, leg press, leg press, leg press, leg. The leg presses go all the way down to the very bottom. Jeez. I think the hacks are the exact same. Yeah. To be honest, so I would say it's definitely not as big as Banus, because I believe this is like the main floor for weights, but it looks pretty insane. And we've also got over here, this is no doubt only where I will be, because it looks like it's all the upper body stuff. Here we've got back stuff. I believe just over here we've got chest and shoulders, so this is where I'm going to be today. A lot of Atlantis kit I can see already, Panata kit, there's definitely Prime pieces. I've literally never seen anything like that in my life, but it honestly looks like it should be really nice, but it could also be one of them pieces that could feel absolutely terrible. But to be honest, we'll definitely have a play about today. I've not had a look at any of the equipment in here already, so I haven't got anything in my mind that I'm like, right, yeah, I'm absolutely gonna do these specific bits. I'm just gonna have a look about and, to be honest, see what I feel. In many ways, a Smith machine that's not a Smith machine. I know I've used this one before. I've used this one in Bunus. This one is quite nice. But I think because I've used that one, it's almost like I don't want to use it again. Panata plate loaded press. A 10 times bigger version of what looks like the Hammer strength shoulder press. Full dumbbell area. I can only imagine they go up to like 100 kilograms. But yeah, guys, you get the gist now. This place is ginormous, and it just looks, it's just so modernized. That's the thing. It's literally this, there's nothing old about this. It's like obviously it's just open, but it's like the most fucking newest gym I've ever seen in my life, and it's just so clean. And I don't even know if you can see, but they've got like cleaners on almost every third or fourth machine, just making sure that everything is looking spot on, everything's sparkling, everything's looking amazing. So to be fair, if you're one for like a very, very, very clean and well kept gym, this is definitely for you. Hey. Okay. Ooh. Very nice. Very, very, very nice. So I've actually spotted some Gymleco pieces. I'm gonna move to my first shoulder press now, just because I'm not gonna waste any more time doing lateral work or anything. I'm going to move. I want to hit maybe 3 or 4 presses today, again, just to be able to try some bits out. So if that means that I'm maybe only doing 1-2 sets maximum on pieces, that's probably what I'm going to do. But to be fair, this lateral raise felt really good, to be honest. I tried it single arm and both at the same time, and in all honesty, it's one of them where there isn't anything to be able to adjust it. So to be honest, you're either going to be that person that suits it single arm, or you're going to be able to be that height that suits it both at the same time. I stood it both at the same time. It felt really nice. So to be honest, that's why I took a good couple of working sets there. But now we'll move to the first shoulder press. In all honesty, guys, I still don't fucking know what one we're going to use first. Check this, guys. I've never used a shoulder press where we've got adjustable handles on how and where you want your grip. So ultimately you can do a totally normal pronated grip shoulder press, and then it just comes more narrow, and more narrow again. I've stuck between this one, which is kind of a full narrow grip that you would tend to use on something like a shoulder press, or one out, which is very similar to the narrow grip Atlantis shoulder press machine. So this is what I would use on the Atlantis press, but to be honest, this also does feel pretty nice. This here's just way too much tricep. You know, this is ultimately too narrow for me. Here it does feel really nice, which I found out that this is max pump. Honestly, guys, I've never heard of max pump in my entire life, so I don't know how heavy, how light it's going to be. A plate felt good, but 2 might be my max. Yeah, that feels good, but I don't think there'll be that much more than 2. I'll go 3, and then potentially 3.5, but that might be me topped out. Change of plan, guys. 3 felt better than 2. So that was a prime example of overshooting it.
I should have went 3.5, not 4. But to be honest, going from the 2 to the 3, it literally felt like 3 was lighter than 2. So 3 felt like that good that I was so confident in just going straight to the 4. But it's one of them where, again, never used this in my life. So I wasn't expecting it to feel that different going from 3 to 4, but it did. And to be honest, the heavier I went, these started rattling about as well. So when I done the 4, when I done the 3, these were like so stuck. When I done the 4, they were like going about. So it just felt so different. Maybe could have squeezed out another rep, but it would have been one that would have been like up, down, up, down, up, down to try and lock it out. Would that have been productive? Absolutely not. Am I trying to injure myself? Absolutely not. So I've pulled back down to 3. We'll get some reps done on 3, and then we'll literally just move to another shoulder press. I'm probably not even going to count the 4 plates for the triple as a set, so we'll just make this really worth it, and then from there we'll move on to another press. But it's one of them, guys, you know, everybody's going to overshoot sets at some point. I often do recommend, you know, not overshooting a set. You would rather kind of undershoot, get more reps, and then the following session know where you're going to fall for your rep range, rather than overshooting. Because from my perspective now, like, I've trained for 11 plus years, so I don't allow that to set the tone for the session. However, if you overshoot something, and especially if you come in expecting to get a specific number, if you overshoot, then that can set the tone for the session. You can then just look for only negatives in that session, and it can be one of the worst sessions ever, you know, and then it just makes it counterproductive. It just makes it not good. You would be as well just literally going home and trying to reset your mind and then come back in. So like I say, I always recommend, if you can, try and undershoot rather than overshooting, because you would be much better at getting a few more reps, then going up the weight the following session, rather than lifting too heavy and having to come back. Okay, much better. It turns out we have got some hammer strength in here as well. So I've also chosen, because I seen this when I came in and I was like, I really want to use it, just to kind of see if it feels terrible or not. It kind of feels like a behind the neck press. So this doesn't converge, which in all honesty, I definitely do prefer a machine that converges. We also have King's box here. Never heard of that make in my life either. Next to it, Atlantis, and then Panata next to that. This is Gem 80. I don't know if I mentioned that. So there's Gem 80 in here as well. Definitely newer brand Gem 80, so it's the newer version pieces. But to be honest, I'm just kind of seeing more and more and more brands pop out, obviously, as I'm here. So it does just go to show that there is literally such a mix of almost every single brand, which is pretty mental. And I'm also just seeing so many more bits of equipment the more I'm kind of walking about and looking, which, to be fair, is absolutely madness. It's almost overwhelming seeing the amount of stuff just next to each other, because you're never going to be able to use it all. And especially if you're one to run a specific piece, you know, if you're running specific pieces for so long, this is going to take you years to use everything. But then again, I kind of guess most people who train in somewhere like this are ultimately just using different pieces every single session, which, to be honest, isn't the worst thing on the planet. But if you're trying to progress and get strong, it's obviously not going to be the most optimal thing on the planet for you. But like I say, guys, everybody trains different. There's not one best way to train, and we have to remember that. Yep. We'll do 3 for a work. Feels heavy enough for me to get a good set of between 8 and 12 good reps. So calling it right now, I'm not going to overshoot this one. If I end up getting more than 8 to 12, I'm happy with that. But I'm not going to put another plate on and get another triple. We're not going to do any more of that today. Oh. After this pronated grip set, I actually done a narrow grip before moving on to this pec deck, in which I will say was Life Fitness. So I actually did find some Life Fitness, just no Cybex. Well, apart from the Cybex Smith machines, I didn't see any other Cybex pieces. So of course, I sat on this pec deck for 3 sets, which again was just 10 to 15s to be able to get a good bit of blood and support through my chest prior to moving on to this pin loaded. And I say pin loaded because I'm a big fan of the hammer strength pin loaded pieces. Here, just showing you guys, of course, 4 Cybex Smiths, because why not? There was actually another 2 over in the leg area as well. So I think that's a total of 6 Cybex Smith machines, because why not? Like I say, back to this decline hammer strength pin loaded press. So I'm a huge fan of the pin loaded pieces from Hammer Strength. I just fit them really well, seem to suit them really well, especially their incline press. Don't get me wrong, they're not the heaviest, but they felt absolutely incredible. From here, I tried out the Hoist decline press. I actually wanted on a flat press. However, on this occasion, everyone was occupied. So I settled for the Hoist decline press, which, to be honest, I'm not the biggest fan of Hoist pieces. But in this session here, this decline hoist press just felt absolutely bang on the money. From here onto rear delt flies. So this is like a kind of multi-station piece. You can do literally like 10 movements on here. Goes from things like bicep curls, rear delt fly. You can do front raises, side raises. You can literally do anything. From there, I finished on some arms. And to be honest, this stand and dip piece felt incredible. But there were so many pieces, you know, that you just kind of imagine could never be possible to be able to be put together and form a machine. Well, yeah, Oxygen has definitely got it. Would I train here again? Probably yes. Could I have this as my full-time gym? Probably not. It's just not the sort of kind of environment maybe I would be looking for in a full-time setup. Kind of more commercial vibes. However, I would say if you are in the area and you get the opportunity to be able to try it out, definitely give it a shot.